All right, today we're jumping right into something called the Canada AGRIC Work Package pathway. Look, if you've ever thought about working in Canada but just got totally overwhelmed by all the different options and dead ends, this breakdown is definitely for you. So let's get into it.
So the material kicks off with this line, and it's meant to grab you, right? It speaks directly to that feeling of frustration a lot of people have with visa lotteries or schemes that just don't go anywhere. It's basically saying, hey, this is different.
So what's the big promise here? Well, it's presented as a really structured, direct path into a job in Canada's agriculture sector. The main idea is that this isn't about luck, it's not about crossing your fingers for a random draw, it's about a concrete job offer waiting for you. This slide really lays it all out, doesn't it? It's like a before and after. On one side, you have all the uncertainty, the lotteries, the guesswork. And on the other side, what's being promised is clarity, real work with real pay and, all the proper documentation. And just to be absolutely crystal clear, they really hammer this point home. This is not a general immigration lottery. It's not a path for seeking asylum. It is specifically designed for one thing and one thing only: getting a job in agriculture.
Okay, so if it's such a direct pathway, what do you actually get with this package? Let's break down exactly what's supposed to be included.
So here are the four main pillars of the whole deal. You get help with the work visa. Then, and this is the big one, you get a confirmed job offer and a signed contract before you even apply. That's a huge game changer. They also say there's support for finding housing. And finally, you get the whole documentation package all put together for you.
And the foundation for all of this, the central promise, is that the entire process is legitimate and backed by real, verified Canadian employers. It's all about taking that guesswork we talked about out of the equation.
Now let's flip this around. We know what the package offers, but what do you actually need to bring to the table? Turns out, the list is surprisingly short.
And what's really interesting here is just how simple they make it sound. Your whole initial application really just boils down to 3 key items. It seems like the goal is to make it feel super accessible, not like a mountain of paperwork.
And here they are. First, the data page from your international passport, and it has to be valid, of course. Second, a passport-style photo. And third, an updated CV or resume. That's it. That's the entire checklist to get the ball rolling.
Now, besides those 3 documents, there are a couple of other things. You absolutely need a clean criminal record, and you have to be genuinely ready to do the work. But get this, the claim is that if you have those things, you're already 80% of the way there.
Okay, so let's say you've got your 3 documents ready. The next big question is always, how long is this going to take? So let's take a look at the timeline they lay out. The process seems pretty mapped out. The first big step, getting that offer letter and contract, is expected to happen within the first 1 to 5 weeks. After you get that, you fill out a simple form, and then about 4 to 6 weeks after that, you get your appointment for biometrics. It's all presented as a very predictable set of steps.
All right, lastly, let's touch on some really important considerations. You could call this the fine print, the stuff every single person needs to know before they even think about moving forward.
First and foremost, and this one is an absolute deal breaker, you must have a clean police criminal record. There's no wiggle room on this one. It's a non-negotiable.
The second thing to keep in mind is that this creates a bit of urgency. These jobs aren't unlimited. They're filled based on availability, which pretty much means timing is super important if you're interested.
And finally, the third condition is really all about your mindset. They're looking for people who are serious about this. Folks who are truly ready to pack up, relocate, and have a strong work ethic from day one.
So that brings us to the end of our breakdown. This AGRIC Work Package is laid out as this really clear, direct, and totally legitimate way to get a job in Canada. Which leaves us with the final question, right here on the screen. Is this the direct pathway it claims to be? And really, that's the ultimate thing for any potential applicant to consider.